Testimony. Is that your real name? Does anybody know your real name?
Yeah, my name's Tess.
Tess. Is it really Tess? Your name's really Tess?
Yeah, my name's really Tess.
All right. Testimony. So, who told you can be a rapper?
Who told me I could or couldn't?
Who told you can? Who gave you? Who said you can be a rapper?
Nobody ever said I could do anything, actually.
So when did you when were you like, I'm gonna be a rapper?
When I got out of jail and kicked heroin.
All right, okay.
That's how my music story starts. I was not one of the kids that like I don't have a musical background like growing up or anything like that.
How old are you right now?
I'm 33.
How old were you then?
When I got clean, I was 20.
So before you were 20, were you listening to rap? Did you
Oh,
listen
fuck
to
yeah.
Okay, so when you were listening to rap and you had your headphones on or whatever, did you sing along?
No, I would just write lyrics. Like I would put songs on repeat. And I would usually I would tune out the rapper's vocals and I would just hyper focus on the beat and then I would just write. So I was always a lyric writer, but also being a junkie kind of like threw that off. So that was more like when I was a younger kid, but I've always been obsessed with music and rap music was usually number one genre, that and blues for sure.
So do you think if you hadn't had an addiction and beat it, would you be rapping?
No.
What would you be doing?
If I hadn't had an addiction, like my life would be. How would I have dodged that? It started early, so I'm like, I don't know what the hell. I mean, I probably would have like been. Damn. I bet I would have gotten like swallowed up by the Matrix and like done the what you're told to do type of thing and then been fucking miserable. Like, I don't know. That sounds weird. I'm not suggesting anybody go out and like be a drug addict to find your purpose. That's just how it happened for me.
So when was the first time that you decided you were going to rap? But did you rap first? Did you sing first? Like, what was it?
No. It was... So I sang very quietly. I was like terrified to hear the sound of my own voice.
Was anybody there?
No.
Did you sing? What'd you sing into? Like a...
Nothing. No. Like the first time I ever sang... Well, there was one time when I was high, and I did, but like that doesn't count. So when it first happened, I had just gotten out of jail, and I was in rehab, and I had been writing lyrics and all that shit, and somebody read them and was like, these sound like songs, not poems. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I'm gonna have to sing these. I just like knew it. I can't explain it. And so I, like, went to, like, my little, like, you know, your little sleep area, sat on my little cot, and was, like, just tried singing some of my lyrics, and I did it super quiet.
So in jail?
So, no, this was after I got out of jail, so I was in rehab at this point. But the other girl that was sleeping in the same room wasn't in there yet, so I just, like, tried to sing. But that, I don't even count that. I feel like my first time fully singing, was I 21 by this point? I don't remember. It was a couple months later, I went to a community college. I joined a group voice class, which is basically like a choir. And I was like, I was going to do it. And I went in. I almost didn't. But I forced myself to go in. And then they called everyone up to do solos. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go. And let's just see if I can do it. So I was like, I'll go first. So I just went up and sang some I think it was House of the Rising Sun. Or like some random song. That's a dope song though. But I just did it, and then I was like, oh shit, I can sing. Weird. So then I took my student loan money and got a little setup to record music at my house and started recording out of my closet.
Do you think that deep down inside you thought you could do that? I mean, what made you take that class? Like, if you didn't think you could do it, would you have taken the class, or did you actually take the class and realized you could do it?
I took the class and then realized I could do it. Like, it was, like, I didn't, like, I almost didn't go into that class. Because I did that, and I also was taking a music technology class, because I thought I wanted to be a producer, which requires me to not be vocal. So it's easier, for me, it's less vulnerable.
Were you scared?
To sing, weirdly, that time, no, but all the other times in that class, yes. Yes. After that, yeah, I started getting nervous. But no, I almost didn't go. And then I was like, you know, cause I dropped out of high school and for, you know, my freshman year and middle school, I was always cutting class. And so I was like, you know what? Like, we're doing the sober thing now. We're not doing dope. We're not skipping school. Like, I've been skipping class my whole life. Like, let's try to just go and not do that. And that's how I wound up going in, because I almost didn't. And I think that's because I was scared.
So what happened, like, with your music career from class? When did you like, okay, I'm a rapper?
Well, immediately. Like, I basically was just like, okay, I can sing. And I wasn't rapping. The rapping thing, like, happened on, like, people started thinking I was a rapper in certain songs because I would write so many lyrics. So I'd have to sing really fast. And to me, I was like, no, I'm a singer. And they're like, it sounds like you're fucking rapping. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, think whatever you want. Like, I don't care. You know, it's going to be what it's going to be. But I immediately started recording myself in my room, and I just used like towels and bathrobes as soundproof and just stuck my mic in my closet. And
So when you started writing music, like, I look at me, and I don't know shit about music, right? I look at it like haiku. It's like 7 syllables, 5 syllables, 7. I know it's not that, but isn't there some mathematical to the beat or how many words are in a line as you're writing them out? Is there some method? Like, how do you know how to write so that your words will match the music?
so though everybody's writing process is different, I used to write 2 instrumentals or beats. And I didn't really have any type of method. Like, I would just hear it and feel a vibe and just start writing. And then I would, like, kind of go back, and if something didn't fit, like, if there were too many syllables, I'd fix it. Or maybe, you know, for a while I didn't, like, pick up on you need to do that. So, like, some of my, well, they're not even, a lot of my old stuff's not even around. But you can tell. But now, like that, this batch of 43 songs / 3 albums that I'm working on, the majority of those songs, if not all of them, were written in silence. So they were just stream of consciousness writing that just came out, and they always come out in rhyme form. And then I'll be like, and then I'll go through beats, and I'll be like, all right, which one fits this vibe? I'll do that, and then, like, I'll edit from there to make it work, depending on the song's tempo and the song's vibe, and I'll, like, switch up delivery kind of, like, throughout the song. But yeah, lately I have been writing without listening to anything, so.
Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and you just have something in your head you're working on while you're asleep?
Yes. That will happen randomly. I could be eating food, on the phone, driving, shower, wake up, especially first thing in the morning. Sometimes you wake up and you can hear it, or sometimes you'll dream it, but usually it's just, like, very emotion driven for me. So I'll feel something,
Right.
or someone will say something that's really powerful, or I don't know, it could be anything, but any little spark of inspiration, and then it just turns into a flood, and you have to write it down.
Will you remember it, or do you have to write it down?
I have to write it down.
And do you put it in your phone, or do you actually have a journal, or how do you do it?
Whatever's near me.
Anything,
Because I have, like, millions of notebooks that are just scattered everywhere, but usually, like, if I'm not at home, it's going on my phone. It's either I'm typing it in notes, or I'll just hit record and just, like, start talking and say everything until it runs out.
Do you ever, like, so you're out doing whatever you're doing, something comes to you, put it down, and then you go to look at it a couple days later. Are you ever like, I don't know what I was thinking, this doesn't go anywhere? Or does it always work?
No, it doesn't always. I mean, if I had recorded every single thing I've written, I'd have thousands of songs. Like, it would be ridiculous. And then they're not always finished either. Sometimes it's just like, you know, like a few verses or something, but it's not like a fully structured song. And sometimes I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling that anymore, fuck that. Or sometimes I go with it and it turns into a song. And sometimes I notice this a lot. Like, I'll have 3 different supposed songs, but I'm essentially saying the same thing in all 3, just in different ways. So I'm like, okay, 2 of these have to go, and I just need to go with 1. So it totally, it's random.
Right. So, like, when you started this, did you have some artist in mind that you wanted to be like, or sound like, or like, what kind of music do you want? I don't know. I like Hollywood Undead. I like Kill Rob Bailey. Like, no, you were just you?
No, I didn't. Like, that's what, whenever people ask me, like, who are your musical inspirations, I'm like, dude, I don't know. Because, so no, I didn't have a specific sound I was going for. I just wanted to be able to have this channel to kind of alchemize all the shit I had been through and use that as a way to be helpful to other people. So that was my main concern, was just the message and the lyrics, more so of like style or sound, or I didn't even know what branding was back then. But as far as musical influences go, it's literally every genre, and sometimes the songs don't even have lyrics. Like, it's all over the map as far as what influences me.
Can you play any instruments?
No, like I can fuck around on a keyboard or a piano and play stuff by ear. Or like if I hear something, I can, after like plucking around on it, I can mimic it or play it. Or if I want to, I can just make up melodies, but I'm not I don't read sheet music. I'm not a piano player.
Are you on TikTok?
I am, and I rarely post, but lately I have been posting.
But have you ever scrolled through it? Like, you just look at it every now and then?
Oh, God, not really. Sometimes.
So TikTok,
rare.
like when you start looking at things, the algorithms are really good on TikTok. But you see these kids that are like, hey, I just made this beat. And he's got like it looks like an old fucking Alfie or something, like a speak and spell or something. It's got like 4 buttons and shit. He's like, and he makes this beat, and then somebody else gets on there and you know, raps to it or sings to it or whatever. Did you ever make any music somehow, like, to go with your words?
Oh, have I ever produced any of my
Is that
own
what
beats?
that's called, is producing beats?
Yeah. Yes, I have. I'm trying to think if I've released any of those. No, I don't think any of those are around or out. I have, but not as like the producers that I work with, they're full through and through musicians. Like when I made beats, I was just using samples.
So did you ever see like
together.
did you ever see Tupac or NWA or any of those? Did you see the movies?
Yeah, I listened to them too.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. As a child, like when they first came out, I was in the 5th grade.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So when you go into a studio and they have all those boards and all those cables plugging all that, like, what does that shit do compared? Because now I've been in the studio a couple times when they were making some pretty big name music, and they're doing it on 2 laptops. Mm-hmm. So like, does that sound booth not exist anymore? Like when they're like, I'm going in the studio, like, is there really a studio anymore, or is it like a dude's closet, or is it in like the studios I've seen are like in people's houses and you know, in like separate buildings and stuff, but it doesn't look like that.
No. The game definitely got changed. I don't know how, but yeah, like literally anybody can record music on their laptop or even on their phone, anywhere. So because I've been in those big studios, but that's not where I record. Like right now, I record either at the room that I rent, or I go to a friend's house because he just has like a dope space and location, and he's fine with me using the space like for that. So sometimes I'll go there to just, you know, have a change of environment, and I'm super fucking grateful to him for that. But those are the only places I record, like, since I've been in Nashville.
Do you ever put your music on CDs or anything? Is that dead? Like, does that exist?
Yeah, you know what? I have not put anything on a CD before. Everything is all digital. But that, I mean, I don't even know. Because a lot of people's, like laptops don't even have disk drives anymore. And, like, you know, it's fucking crazy. Like, some cars don't have them. I don't know.
So have you heard David Hasselhoff is huge in Germany, right? Do you know that?
I've heard the name, but I can't say that I know.
Knight Rider.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
He's huge in Germany, right?
Yeah.
So my friend Brandel has a band called Silent Horror, and they are huge in Germany. And they press 1,000 albums, and they do a T-shirt and a sticker, and they sell out of that shit like overnight. And it all, well, I mean, some of it's local, like goes to people in the States, but the majority of it goes to Germany, and they actually press records.
Wow. Okay, well that would be... Oh yeah, Tom McDonald just did that.
Did he do records?
Yeah, he actually... I think that him and Adam Calhoun did, and then with the solo album he did before that, he was selling actual hard copy albums just directly from his website. Like, he wasn't using the distributors.
So yeah, these guys are like Silent Horror. It's punk, but it's all about horror movies. Like, it's a huge genre.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check them out then, because I do like that style of music.
So do you want to do this do you want to be big you want to be able to just make music and that be able to just blow you up and pay all your bills, or do you want to do other stuff?
Well, I want my expression in general to be what is paying all said bills or whatever. So music, yes. Also just started the podcast, so that as well. I also love writing, so like books of us down the line, and then obviously I'm trying to get like off the grid and out of the honeycombs and onto some land. So I have a lot of goals, but yeah, with the music, like I would never sign with a major or nothing like that, but I want to take it as far as possible. Absolutely.
How do you think, somebody makes an album, right, and it gets a lot of YouTube views, and I guess there's no radio play anymore. How do you make money from that? Like, where does the money come from when you build it, when you make an album and release it? Like,
honestly, the streams, I mean, you will get money, but it's not going to be anything significant unless it's in like the millions and millions and millions. So really the majority, and I'm like nowhere near that. So for me, the majority of the money that I've made that's been like significant to where I've been able to like make some moves from it has been features, commissioned songs, shows, merch helps. It's just like at this point, once I'm done making it, it's just passive income, so that's always helpful. If you can get sync placements, that's really helpful.
What is that?
That's getting your shit in movies, TV, video games, like a documentary, and like well, actually I probably shouldn't say that.
Like, what does that pay?
It depends on how often that production is watched, but basically the producer of said production has to hand a cue sheet over to the performance royalty organization, and then every time, there's percentages that get calculated, and then every time, it's played, you get money.
So my friend that I was telling you about when we were outside that started making music like 7 years ago, just out of the blue, right? He didn't say shit about it to no one either. His song is at the end of Southpaw, the fucking boxing movie. He was on there with Busta Rhymes.
Oh, no shit.
That's his song. So he was just in the studio, and he was saying, we usually give them 10 points on the back end to production. And he's like, they were doing awesome shit, but I wanted more awesome shit. He's like, so I gave them 20 points. But I don't know, what does that mean? 10 points or 20 points? Is that 10% of annual revenue, or is that 20%? Like, I don't know what that means.
I honestly do not know either, because I am just now in my first situation where a sync placement is on the horizon. So I'm literally just now going into it, but won't elaborate because it's still, no, it's happening. It's just that the film is not out. It's like still like everything is kind of still like under wraps and in the works. So.
Are there, it's like, I know people that make music, and I'm like, hey, will you come play? And they're like, no, we don't really play. And I'm curious, like, having seen people make music, is it possible that there are people that make music, and in the studio they can put that shit together, but it can't be, like a lot of artists 20, 30 years ago in live concert, it was always lip sync, and sometimes the music would go off, like the Milli Vanilli bullshit. And
yeah.
Like, do you think that there are people, because I'd ask my friend David, and I said, hey, do you ever get, and I'm like, I want to come in and I want to do a song. He's like, show up. And I'm like, do you ever get anybody in there that you just can't work with? He's like, only once or twice, but we worked it out. Like, we got it to work. Like, we've always can make it work. And I've always been curious, could you go in there, because I'm always, like, Austin puts my videos together and I can't retain shit, right? But he can kind of make it look like it was continuous. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that's how a lot of music production is. Like, you could go in and just read some words off a phone, and when it comes out on the audio, it sounds okay.
So yes, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Are you talking about like making yourself sound like not how you would naturally?
No, just be able to cut it so that it sounds like you actually said it all at once.
Oh yeah, like you mean like so yeah, there's like terms for that, but a lot of the times, like sometimes you can go, I've done both. Sometimes you can go all the way through, but sometimes people like to focus on like sections, or you might have layers of backups or harmonies or ad-libs, so you're going to go back around anyway. So sometimes people will record, like, they'll be like, okay, first verse, we're going to do a couple of takes on that and, like, see which ones we like. Then we're moving into the hook, or the pre-chorus first, then the hook, and da-da-da. So a lot of the times it's not just like a one take, you know what I mean?
Right.
Usually it's a lot more than that, but again, everybody does have their own process, so like I can't speak for everybody.
Got it.
But for me it's like I usually like to I mean, when I'm performing live, of course, obviously it's all at once. But if for the actual sound recording and it's a new song, like I'm not like, you know, a lot of the times when I'm in the studio, I'm still working out how I want to deliver it. I might change my mind on a melody like 10 different times. So like it's just like a process or whatever. And so like sometimes I'll do it all the way through and I'll be like, all right, I like the way that sounds. Like now let's do some like backing tracks. And then sometimes it might be like, let's do like one segment at a time. So it's different, you know, but no, you do not have to do the entire song in one take.
So when you perform live, do you try to deliver exactly like it sounds, like if you had radio play or on the computer or MP4 or whatever, right?
No, I used to. But now I find that just kind of going with whatever the vibe is or the mood is, or you don't know what's going on in the audience, or like, you know, I don't like, maybe you might even want to throw in lyrics that weren't even in the original recording because maybe like you might want to be like, you know, heckling somebody, or I don't know, there could be a million reasons. But I think that every time you sing a song that's one of yours, it's never going to be exactly the same. Like your voice is never gonna sound exactly the same, you know. It's just not. So like I don't worry about that. I just kind of go with it, and I think it's more fun to me that way to just.
So you came from West Coast to Nashville-ish area. How fast did that happen? Like, I'm on the West Coast and I'm going to Tennessee. Like from the time, like, how fast was that?
Once I decided, I want to say it took me, how long did it take? 3 months to get out, because I had to like, well, I was dealing with a lot of shit, because I had a lot of people close to me die, all around that time and after. So you deal with that, and you deal with that with the community and stuff, and then I also had to get my money up to like drive for 5 days across the country and like find a place to live and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it took 3 months to get out once I decided.
Packed all your stuff in your car and brought what would fit?
Yeah, I just brought what would fit, I brought what I give a shit about, which is my music gear, and then like, you know, the essentials like some clothes, you know, your toothbrush, like just, you know, your basics or whatever, you know, and then like I brought a bag of food with me because I didn't want to buy food on the road.
Right. Yeah.
So I just bought 5 days worth of food, and then I just like, I didn't have much anyway, but if I had any stuff, like I had a mattress, for example, I just gave that away.
Right. Yeah, when you've been in jail for any time, you realize how little you can do with.
Yeah, exactly. Like the being locked up for sure, and also like having been someone who's moved a lot. Like I've moved a lot. So I'm not a big accumulator of stuff.
Are you done moving?
No. No, because I'm not like trying to, I mean, I rent a room right by the Nashville airport. Like that's not like, you know, that's not where I'm trying to like drop an anchor.
But you intend to stay kind of around.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, just like I'd like to have my own place. So,
right.
But yeah, no, I don't have plans. Like I think Tennessee's dope as fuck. I really like it here.
What does that place look like? Like ideal, if you could just draw that shit out tonight and tomorrow morning it existed, what would it look like? How big is it? What is it?
If I could draw it out. Well, I already have one image, but that's because I saw one of our mutual friends' spot and I was like, oh my God, this is everything. But it would look like, it would be definitely not in a city, and it would be like, I don't know, like, I mean, Nicole's spot in the holler is goals for me, honestly. Like that place is beautiful. She's got a great vibe out there. That place is totally self-sustaining. She's self-sustaining. There's the energy is beautiful. I love the part of Tennessee that it's in. it's
It is. It's really pretty.
it's so incredible. Like when I saw it, I was like, this is a literal paradise. And I was like, okay, this is my first time seeing, because I knew I wanted to be off the grid and in nature, right? But not like so far out to where if I need to go do a gig or to go meet somebody or do, you know, this, that, and the third, it's like gonna be an issue. You know what I mean?
So you would live out in that area.
Oh, fuck yeah, absolutely.
Right. So what does
Yeah.
off-grid mean to you?
Off-grid means, well, if we're talking like fully off-grid, it means like not dependent on the municipal power and water supply.
So you know Tag from Life Done Free. I think that's his YouTube channel, Life Done Free, and that's his situation. He was working at a place, corporate, big money. He was CEO, maybe he was upper level management. And they're like, what do you think about giving the thing, right? During Kufis.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I won't do that. So about a month goes by and they're like, hey, we need you to give the thing. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Another couple weeks and he gets called. I guess he was not the CEO because the CEO called him in and was like, super disappointed in you. We're going to have to fire you. And he's like, I'm never going to be in a situation where I can be controlled by somebody else. And he had some money, like some fat money, it sounded like. And they bought a big piece. They're 100, like nothing. There is no municipal lines. There's no power coming in, no water coming in, no gas coming in. But he lives in a manner that it would be like $1 million home. I mean, it's amazing what he has built, and he built it, right? And I say, like in homesteading, there's two kinds of homesteaders. You have homesteaders that are just dirt poor, never leave the homestead, and just run themselves into the fucking ground trying to live and produce food and do everything themselves. And then you have the other extreme where you have people with so much money that they can afford to homestead and do all of that shit, but still do whatever they want to do. You know, they kind of live both lives.
Yeah, so the latter would be the goal.
I'm with you. I am with you.
Yeah, because you guys, I mean, I don't know if you're like on the, like I've noticed just that if any kind of shit hits the fan where like the water is no more, the power is no more, you're gonna be fucking fine out here. Like you're ready. Like you're good.
Ish.
Yeah, well, I mean, more than like almost anyone else I've seen in my life.
Right, which makes it more than 99%. But
Yeah.
that makes that very dangerous for you because that 99% is
they're
going
gonna
to try to
be coming. Yeah,
the zombies.
Yeah, the zombies. Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I got my little pistol with me. I'm gonna need more, but you know, priorities. There are many things I need to do to like get myself in a situation where I am not in a SHTF situation like I have been before, where people were dying around me and I was fucked. And if I wouldn't have been able to escape when I did, like I mentioned off camera, I would either be in prison or not alive.
So you need a class. You need to go to TAC Response. And I know that a friend of ours offered to sponsor that class for you. And when you do that, like you don't realize the world is going to open up and the way you're going to look at things completely. And I always say, like in fighting pistol, so it's 1,000 rounds and it's not a gun shooting school, it is a gun fighting school. And the second day there's a lecture in the morning. It's about a 3-hour lecture. And if you fired no rounds and were just able to just sit in that class, you would live the rest of your life in a completely different manner. It's literally just the mindset of it. Just that lecture and that speak and that interaction with those instructors, it's just shit that you're like, I didn't even fucking think about that. And it really is that much. Like I told Nicole, I'm like, you need to take this class and I will pay for this class for you to go take medical class. And that's like Trish has taken all the classes, Amanda's taken the classes, I don't know, a dozen times. All of my kids are trained up through there, winter and summer, completely different classes. But like, you really need to do this. Like, it is going, especially if you're carrying a pistol, like you're going to be better prepared than 99% of the people that would try to harm you by taking those courses.
That is 100% like what I am planning on doing. I did I spoke with him, found the next available date for their fighting pistol, looked at all the things that they want you to have, and like, you know, looked into that. Can I get all those things? Yes, I can. So it's just a matter of like completing the process or whatever and getting my name signed up, and then so we'll see.
Right. So where's your money coming from?
Well, this should be interesting, but I got hired by a solar panel company. So I start that in not next week, but the week after. I have to go to Knoxville to like go through their training, and then I'll be like doing that, and we'll see where that goes. So it's like a side thing, something I'm interested in. Other than that, money comes from side jobs, gig work, contract work.
Say what gig work is, because that word gets thrown out a lot, and I don't think some people know what gig work means.
Okay. So it can literally be like you're playing a gig and getting paid for it, or it could mean that you got hired to work a gig as event staff or as like a brand ambassador. So, and there's events in and around Nashville like constantly. So if you're registered with any of these staffing agencies, which I am, like I just get emails all the time of like, this person's coming to town and they need this for this, or like this gig's coming out, we need somebody for X amount of days in these different areas for this. And so it's like there's always that, and so I do that. And then I also drive for a food delivery service. I try to not say which one because sure. Just in case, I don't know, I say weird stuff on the internet. So I drive for a food delivery service as well. And then there's so something I started on the side is like, those like knives, those hidden in plain sight knives or whatever, and I actually have been selling some of those. And then stuff like what I did with Billy, doing like commission songs or like features that'll bring in money too. So it's been pretty like...
That's a one-time money thing though, right?
Yeah, but that ideally is like they happen, like more than once, yeah. But you can never quite predict when. So that's why you have to be doing like 4 different things, which I'm cool with, but it's like you're not really making a ton of money, you're just getting by, but the benefit is that you have control over your schedule and your time, so you're like not really having a lot of money, but you can control your time, which means I have more time for music. But now that this solar panel thing came into the picture, that is going to change the game a little bit.
Knocking on doors?
Fuck no. No, they're all people who like already have been screened by the company, like of whether or not their house or wherever is like doable for the panels. They're already interested, like they already have.
They contacted the company? Yeah,
they reached out, and so then they send people like me to go out there to close a deal, basically. So
cool.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see how it works out. I've never done it before, but I just remember this particular company. After I moved to Tennessee, I saw some ads for this position, and I was really, because I'm like, I get kind of paranoid about like power outages and shit.
I've seen it.
And and like the grid, and I'm just like, man, fuck, like, this is not good, like, so like I get paranoid about that shit. So I was like really drawn to solar, so I kept trying to like apply for but I have no experience with being an electrician, being a salesperson, any of that shit. But I think I just applied so many times and like wrote a convincing cover letter, and they were just like, fuck it, like whatever.
Maybe she'll go away if we get it.
Yes. So they interviewed me, and I ended up getting the job. So
cool.
So we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? Because like it is a lot of money, but if it became something that overtook my life and jeopardized music, then that would have to go. So we'll see. Just trying something new.
So brand ambassadors, right? You can be a brand ambassador or even just have affiliate links.
For
solar generators. So you can, like Blue Eddy, which we have downstairs with the solar panels and shit here. They have an affiliate link. Jackery, I believe they have an affiliate link. So go get some little thing, do some awesome review, tag the shit out of them until they can't. They're like, maybe if we just give her some money, she'll stop tagging us. But you can just multiple, and then like the Amazon thing, we have an Amazon thing. When they click it, it populates a cookie. We get 1% to 2% for the next 24 hours after everything they spend. But it's eyeballs. If you have that, if you have eyeballs, you can monetize eyeballs.
I didn't know how the Amazon thing worked. I'm interested in that. I did get offered 2 affiliate partnerships in the last like month and a half, I want to say. One of them's with EMP Shield.
Yeah.
Which I know you're familiar with.
Shield
Yeah, because I remember, because that's how I got mine, is using your code.
Yeah, so, and the cool thing with that is you get money, but your viewers also get $50 off their order.
Yeah, and like that EMP Shield, like I was like,
It's on your car?
Yeah, it's on my... Yeah, they actually installed it here, like, at SRF, and the founders, like, put it in my car for me, because I was like, I do not want to... It's such an easy installation, but I was like, I don't want to deal with it, and I want to make sure it's done right, and, like, just do it, and they're... so they did it.
So we got an affiliate link, and they sent me some units, and they're like, hey, we've noticed nobody's used your code. I'm like, yeah, I haven't talked about it because I haven't put them in. I go, I can't tell people to use this until I can show them that I'm using it. And they're like, okay, well, do you need help finding an electrician, or, you know, is there anything, what can we do for you? I'm like, well, you guys can come here and install it. And then they did. Not really, but I mean, they came to the show, and they actually did install it. Like, Billy installed it. So we've got them on, we don't have them installed on the back panels yet, but I have 12 panels in the building. 6 of them have it, and then I've got the other 6 in the box. And then we have them for all of the newer trucks, and then we have them for, like, all of our side-by-sides and shit.
Good, good, yeah.
And the big question, like the hecklers or whatever, are like, well, how can you test that? How do you know? They're just selling something that, no, there's no recourse if it doesn't work, right? Because the world's over. Well, what about lightning strike? Because they insure you up to $25,000 on any of those devices during lightning strike, right? So that's worth it in itself to me. Like, I have a monster management system for my stereo shit that does the same thing, except I want to say that I paid $1,200 for that box. So even let's hope it works for that, but we know it works for all this other shit.
Yeah, well, especially out here too. Like, I've been driving and seen a lightning bolt hit the ground in front of me. Like, right. It was further up, right? Obviously, because I kept driving, but I've seen them hit the ground. Like, the storms out here are like nothing I've ever experienced. I love them.
Well, and they're getting crazier.
Are they really?
Yeah, it does seem like the weather's getting weirder. But they're beautiful, for sure. We have tornadoes sometimes, and, like, I'd love to see one. Not at my house, maybe next door. Yeah. But, so, like, I'd always heard that lightning can't strike your car because it won't ground because you have rubber wheels. And I've kind of always lived that belief. And then I heard somebody the other day say, yeah, my car got struck by lightning and it fucked it all up. So I don't know. I'm not the...
Yeah, I don't know if that's real either. Like, because someone was like, don't worry, you won't die because there's rubber tires. And I was like, well, wouldn't it fucking kill the computer chip inside the car?
Yeah, I don't know.
That makes it run? Like, you might not get shocked because the tires might absorb it, but it's still gonna... What if it hits the hook? Like, wouldn't it still... So, I don't know. Like, all I've been told, and from the research that I've seen and the testing that they've been through, is that, like, yeah, that'll fuck your shit up. And it's one less thing to worry about. And for me, since I'm not yet on a homestead where, like, if shit hit the fan, which it looks like it's kind of, like, we're kind of, you know, going there, I'm not in a bug-in type of location. Like, I would need to bug the fuck out. So I need a working vehicle. So when I saw that, I was like, get that shit on my car. Like, I'm fucking buying it. I don't care. Because that's literally all I have.
I heard you on an interview talking about that. Actually, I don't remember where I heard that.
It might have been on Permapastures, the Permapastures Live.
Yeah, it might have been with the Van Tesla.
Yeah, and Billy.
So. Maybe you could find the information out and put it in there, whether that's true or that's bullshit about the car thing.
I'll look into it, because the only thing that I could think of, and I might be completely wrong about this, is since you're grounded, the electricity can't complete a circuit.
So that's what I always thought.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that that bolt of fire isn't going to cause...
That's how my story always starts. And then I'm like, imagine my surprise. So
I think you won't get electrocuted, but you catch on fire. That's what I think it happens.
What?
So I don't know if I asked you this already or not. Like, at what level, when will you be like, I made it?
With music? World tours.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. World tours, yeah. Like, when I am touring on an international scale.
With who?
Ooh, God, there's so many people. And there's also people that, like, maybe don't have big names yet or, like, haven't emerged yet. Dude, it could be with fucking anybody of like mind. I don't know, like, how he is with, like, the freedom lane that I'm in, but as far as, like, lyricism and the way that he's so flawlessly able to convert like a disturbed mind, like that dialogue, into lyrics. Like it literally, when I listen to his songs, it sounds like I'm listening to my head, but just in a poetic form. I've never heard albums that are more therapeutic in that sense. That rapper is NF.
Yeah, I know.
So like that, yeah, I fucking love him. But also he used to be, you know, I have no idea. But that would be like a dream collab for sure. And then like obviously there's like hella dope artists, like we've talked about this, like Jelly Roll's fucking mad dope, like Yellow Wolf's hella dope, Tom McDonald's hella dope, Adam Calhoun's hella dope.
Does Tom McDonald play anywhere?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about him going on tour.
Never seen it.
Yeah, I haven't either, so I'm honestly not sure.
But it seems like they're fucking putting a new video out every week. Maybe that's why he's not touring.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could... he's pretty smart with his strategy, so there could be... I'm sure there's a reason for it.
How do you think he's making money?
I would imagine...
You never see him push anything. I don't see click-through links. I guess the only way to really even buy his content is digitally. So, I mean, like, where's the money? I mean, he's all over. Do they make, like, do you make real money, like, on Spotify and Pandora and all that shit?
Spotify revenue is 0.009 cents per stream. That's how much Spotify gives you. YouTube, well, you have a monetized YouTube channel, so you know how much they give. It's less.
We might as well not be monetized.
Yeah. I mean, so I honestly don't know. I mean, maybe his merch, maybe...
That's true. I have seen him do merch.
Yeah, because he does do a lot of merch.
If he would do I've never seen him do super chats. I saw him interviewed with Adam Calhoun on one of the Trump sons' wives has a pretty badass podcast actually. She interviewed him and it was an awesome interview. But on super chats, they take 40%. But I mean, oh yeah, it's like 45%, I think. But if you look at, like, I'll bet you if he turned on a super chat, there'd get a million dudes on there. Like, and it moves so fast. The only way he will ever see the comment is if you pay a super chat to see the comment.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder why that hasn't happened. I have no idea. That's a really good question. Because, yeah, streams don't really do fuck all. I know that he sells the albums from his website. Like, so those are direct sales. He has charted, like, hit number 1 on iTunes before. And people have to buy it for that to happen. But still, you're not getting the full, like, dollar, however much it is.
And he says that's how they know they're at the top of the chart, even when they don't rank them. When you look at it and you're like, your name's not there. But the revenues, like we know that we have way more subscribers than YouTube shows us. We immediately, within seconds of posting a video, we have 3 porn spammers post with click-through links. But if you go and try to put a click-through link in there, it's not there. Like, you can't post a link that somebody... So YouTube's got to be pay to play. I mean, they have to be taking money for that to happen. And why would they put, like, we literally cannot post a video until, and I mean, the second we post it, on 3, before I even see the video, there's 3 comments.
That's how my Instagram is. Like, if you ever look through the comments,
it's a trip that you have those fakers, yeah.
Well, I have somebody made a fake account, which they still haven't fucking removed, but it's like, that should be so obvious that it's a fake account. Like, if you read there's no posts, they just, like, have my pictures, and then it's like, click this link for spicy surprises, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? So there's that, but, like, if you look at my real account, so, like, not that one, because I don't send spicy surprises, like, on Instagram.
We'll mail you some pepper spray.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, there we go. But, like, but for my actual Instagram, if you look at my posts, it's so fucking annoying. There are so many spammers that will, it's always, like, promoted on blah blah blah, DM blah blah blah, and it's just like. Are you
using hashtags?
Yeah, so that might be why.
So anytime we talk about anything cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, I get 20 people that show up and literally have a fucking conversation. Hey Rick, man, I invested $500 on Rick's advice,
people, Jesus.
And they like I literally block 30 people every day from our YouTube channel,
wow.
and Instagram.
I was
Same
just
thing.
going to say that because this last one that we talked about crypto, it was like they were pushing a new kind of
I'm
crypto.
like, man, we got like 200 comments on this, and they're all fake comments.
Yeah, I don't understand like what the fuck that's about, because a lot of like, then this annoys the shit out of me too. And there is a way to remove followers on Instagram, because I'm like, I'd rather like I want to know who is like I
Yeah.
don't want fake ones, like, but sometimes people will follow me and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I don't always check, but sometimes I will, and sometimes they're real people, and sometimes they're accounts where it's like, it's obvious that it's a bot or like just some weird account or whatever. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with social media, but I did not have that problem until I started
recent.
getting, it's recent. It's been post the big C, and post me getting a lot of community guidelines violations and having my account status just indefinitely
All right,
saying,
maybe somebody
just
hit the toggle and
it
like,
just indefinitely says your account may be deleted. And I literally have stuff that I've tried to appeal that's been in review for like a year. They still haven't done anything
Right.
with it. So I'm like, well, I guess this is just how it is.
when you block them, do you see an option to block this account or block all accounts from future accounts from users now?
Yeah,
was-
that one, that option, like that's a recent thing I think, but I now see that. So I honestly don't know, because I also have known some crazy broads in my life where they've been like, yeah, I have all these like fake Instagram accounts, and they like stalk their exes or like spam people that they don't like, or
I feel like there's a company that you can hire to do that shit.
that there has to be, because I know that there's apps where you can like spoof people's numbers too.
Yeah, so they're for over 10 years, there was some kind of way you could text. I could text Austin as though I'm a female, and I could text him from his wife's phone number and
Yeah.
send him a text that wasn't from his wife.
Yeah, that's still a thing. Like, I didn't know it was a thing until it happened to one of my guy friends, and some random, it was a female, but she had done it through his number to me, and I was like, what the fuck? And, like, I ended up talking to him about it. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I screenshotted it to him, and he's like, what number did that come from? I was like, yours. And it just, none of it made any fucking sense. And so I had to talk to people, because he didn't know it was a thing either. And they were like, oh yeah, that's like, you can just do like spoof my number, like .com or some shit, and like just plug in a number and do it. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I looked it up, and it's true. You can. So some of it might be crazy people, and some of it might be bots. I don't know what the purpose is. Just like more man behind the curtain, like just more illusions of the Matrix, of
Right.
making people think like this is how reality is, because look at how everybody, look at what people are saying. It's like those aren't even real people.
So what's next?
In life,
Whatever.
next in life is to continue with the podcast I just started. But the most important thing, oh my god, and the thing I'm super excited about, I already leaked this to the people that are in my
But
music
it's only
Telegram.
on Telegram.
Yeah, well, everybody else gets it in August.
I'm like, I want to hear this, but I'm not getting on Telegram.
Yeah, it's only for that's kind of like the point, because is like because I have 2 Telegram channels. I have one that's more like, I hate the word truther, so let's just say truth seeking, intel, preparedness channel. So I have that.
What's your other Instagram that's not
The Great Silencing.
Great Silencing?
Yeah, and that's what the podcast is called. It's just The Great Silencing with Testimona. So The Great Silencing is my like truth-seeking, preparedness, whatever the fuck, anti-Matrix, let's do something different account. And also on Telegram, it's The Great Silencing Uncensored, but music, it's a different one. So yeah, they've already heard it, but everybody else, Alien Tumbleweed is coming out, and I really wanted it to be out before summer was done, because it is such a fucking summer, it's a heavy summer vibe, like heavy as fuck.
Is it rap?
No, actually, I think I sing the whole way through.
What's your favorite line in there? Because you know you're about to sing it right now.
Ooh, and it's hard to sing too with my voice this dry, because I sing it kind of high. What is God? There's so many. What is my okay. If I had to pick one line.
Oh, you can do all of it.
All of it. Okay, well, here's one line in one of the verses where it says, "We don't listen when they tell us how to dream." No. Oh, and then I say, "We know this simulation's not to be believed." I forgot the next line, my own fucking song, but this one line that I like is, "Self-made swans never cut their own wings," because I talk about being the black sheep or the ugly duckling. Oh yeah, I said it came up being the ugly duckling because I was. So we trust our alchemy, because that's what happened. Self-made swans never cut their own wings, because I talk about, like, being an alien tumbleweed, always kind of being on the move, life being very unstable, but just kind of, like, still staying true to you, you know, like, regardless of what the fuck else the world is demanding you get in line and act like. And just always from jump, always kind of being that square peg in a round hole. Like, you do not fit society's mold, and you're not interested in, you know, any of this shit, and it's not something to be ashamed of for being a black sheep or an outcast or different or weird or, like, fuck all that. Like, it's like, you know, there's a lot of us, and a lot of us feel like, a lot of people feel alone or think they're the only one, and it's like, no, we're all alien tumbleweeds. Come join the fucking Legion.
Do you feel more at peace when you're at these events?
Yes. At these events, you mean like in the realms of like preparedness and stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean with this crowd.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, because I've just noticed, especially in the last couple of years, but I had an experience sort of recently where I was around people that, let's just say, are not of like mind. And I was just like, why the fuck am I here? Like, I could be doing a million other things. Like, I need to leave. And so I was like, this is so bad. Like, I didn't used to be this bad. But I struggle being around people who want to talk about, like, really superficial, stupid fucking shit. I'm trying to be real careful with my words because I don't want it to be, like, obvious on, like, who the people were. But, like, yeah.
Yeah. For mine, it's like just, I had a couple guys in here, a couple friends of mine were in here, and one of them was saying something, and my other buddy's like, I don't do negativity, like, I don't do drama. And he's like, what? He goes, I don't do drama. What you're talking about, it doesn't involve me, and I don't fucking do it. And like, that has, like, I've literally said that probably 50 times on media here and there, and like, it's just stuck with me, and I'm like, I catch myself, because I can totally do negative, right? Mm-hmm. When I can get together and we can talk shit about somebody that's not present or whatever, don't give them the, like, why. Because when you put out negative shit, you got a lot more negative shit coming. When you put out good shit, you've got good shit coming. And when you just fucking remove that, like, what if it really is all the fear and all the shit? What if it really is, it's just the cortisol, it's the fight or flight, right? So you can't truly rest, you can't truly have mental capacity at the level you're capable of, because it's always the fear. Oh my God, this thing's gonna kill us. This is coming, this is coming, this is coming. But when you don't watch social media and you don't pay attention to that shit, you get a lot more things accomplished and you can operate on a higher level. And it sounds crazy. Like, you can call it religion, you can call it karma, you can call it energy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it works. Like, it's real, right? It can be proven. It's literally actionable immediately. Can change the course of your direction in the entire, like, that day.
Yes, so I just kind of figured that out a few months ago, because I used to, and I fuck up all the time.
What does that mean?
Meaning, like, getting caught, like, because I think fear and anger and outrage, or just any, like you said, anything that gives you that cortisol rush, I don't know if it fucks with your dopamine or not, but it does give you a hit of adrenaline, and you can get addicted to negative emotions. Are very addictive.
And when you start looking at, like, negative fear videos,
yeah,
fear
like
porn, right?
I fall into that pitfall a lot.
And you start seeing it, you seek it out, and then YouTube's like, oh, they want to see this shit,
and then that's all your feed is. So I have to be, like, really careful about that. Like, I just had to pull myself out of that just a few days ago, because there was so much, and I was like, it just got to be too much. And all last week, up until I woke up at 2 in the morning or whatever, and left by 4 to come here, the whole week it was like I need to just be nonstop recording music at the place I was at, and also launch the podcast, and, like, started that, like, little knife thing that I got going on, and got the solar panel thing going. So I, like, had to be focused, and that really, like, fucked my head up. So I can still go down that road, but I used to just not really be very conscious or mindful of what I was putting out into the world. If I thought I was right about something, right? Like, I'd be like, oh, I'm fired up about this shit and I'm fucking right about it, so blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, on one hand, you're kind of like poisoning whoever the fuck is consuming what you're saying, whether they are signing up for it or not, you still are. And then on the other hand, like, what kind of environment am I creating within myself? Because I don't feel at peace or better. And that is one thing I noticed about you too, is you get up really fucking early. You get a lot of shit done. And like any of the times I've been here, it's only been twice, but you're always like like there's an event and you're there, and then you're like rolling around on some machine or like feeding animals or like doing some shit. So you do, I mean, and this whole fucking place is like so set up. I cannot imagine how much time it took. So like how do you navigate that? Because you're obviously not an idiot. Like you
No, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no, well, no, you talked at SRF. Your story actually was really helpful when you were like, I prepared for the world to end and withdrew for 10 years and then nothing happened.
So I heard Jack say that day, and I really did go buy a Land Rover that night. And I bought a Porsche 2 weeks after that, and we were just, like, we had a basement full of food. Like, it was a cross between REI and Walmart in that basement. And we hadn't gone anywhere. I hadn't put on a fucking shirt or a nice pair of shoes since we moved, right, from California. So, I mean, we'd been here probably 10 years at that point. And Spearco was like, you have all these dudes who have wasted 30 years of their lives waiting for society to collapse. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's probably me. So we went to Atlanta, went fucking clothes shopping, went out to a bunch of different restaurants, took the kids, and just changed. And it literally was mindset, right? So I'm really good at not having any money. And when I have no money and I don't have money to pay bills that I have to pay, I'm very good at making money. Mm-hmm. But I'm very lazy, and then I am complacent, right? When I'm comfortable, I'm very complacent. If you don't see those videos in the morning, it's because I fucking didn't get up and I was sleeping, right? The things I say on those videos are things that I need to hear, and if somebody else made those fucking videos at 4:30 in the morning, I wouldn't get up and make them. I would get up at 7 and listen to his video. Mm-hmm. And it's not there. It's just not there. So, and then people are like, a lot of times, and Austin can tell you, a lot of times I'm like, fuck, why are we even doing this? Like, we fucking make so much content. Guys don't see it. They don't fucking get it. And every time I say that, like, it's literally like the universe opened up and like, he needs these emails. And I'll get these emails from these dudes that are like, hey, I fucking listened to what you said and I started a business and I just made the first $100,000. Or, hey, I started working out and I didn't have a gym, but I started doing just body weight shit and I've lost 40 pounds. So people are hearing it. So I just, like, that kind of spurs me back. Every time I think, I'm like, why are we doing this shit? The answer fucking shows up when I need it. It just like magic.
Okay. Yeah, because I remembered that story, and obviously you're prepared, but you still get shit done and seem to be like very productive. So I'm just, so you have to have a pretty disciplined mindset to do that.
I question sometimes if I really am
prepared or productive.
Productive.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, our perceptions of ourselves are never the ones of like other people's, but you do, from where I'm standing and seeing all this shit and observing all the shit that you do, yeah. I mean, it seems like you have a very disciplined mindset, which requires a lot of focus, because I think we both probably have brains that are like, that can be all over the place, or thinking thinking and wanting to do a million things at once and having 1,000 ideas at once and just so like it's not fucking easy to do any of that shit. So I guess, like, since you are also in the know, also well prepared, like wool hasn't been pulled over your eyes, how do you personally temper the onslaught of like, this is happening in the world versus like your fucking life here, you know what I mean?
So when all the bullshit started, we're like, okay, maybe there really is something to this, right? So we did a lot of infrastructure stuff here for 2 weeks. Like brought in a lot of things, put in fencing, brought in dogs, doubled all of our lights, doubled all of our camera systems. We brought in a bunch of concrete barrier blocks in case. And then as time went on, we're like, this is bullshit, right? So you have all these people burning the cities down, you have all these riots, you have all these carjackings, and then it dawned on me, and I don't know if somebody said it or I just kind of put it together out of a few things and started saying it myself, but 99% of the problems that existed in the cities, we didn't have out here. You were never closing us down. Like, you don't have enough guns, you better come back with more fucking guns. Like, you were not close. Like, we put in gates and all those concrete barriers if the cops showed up, right? And then found Bear, and I started listening to Bear, and Bear's like, they ain't fucking, they're not coming. They can't control the city. They ain't coming after you. There's just straight nobody coming. They're not coming to help you. They're not coming to put you in camps. They're fucking straight not coming. So my concern was shutting down interstate commerce, right? What if we can't ship? What if we can't get goods in? You saw a lot of people like they're going to shut the internet down. Okay, what if they shut the internet down, right? If the internet shuts down, power's going down, where are we lacking? What do we need, right? So I've spent the last 3 years setting up my life and all the things I do that if we could no longer do business, we could still survive. And I wanted to just not just survive, I wanted to be able to still operate in a level of comfort and not any concern. So we just kind of started moving towards that. Like, we've always had rabbits, but we have a lot more rabbits now. So we have a lot of rabbit manure. People can't get fertilizer. We don't have a fertilizer problem. We're on city water here. We've always had water catchment, but we put in a 3 million gallon pond in the back. Like, if we have to move water with buckets, we'll just go down in the hole and get buckets, I guess. Now we have 3 ponds. We're about to put 12,000 more gallons on each corner of the building, 4,000 each, 3,000 each corner. Met Billy. Like, I met these dudes. I saw their videos. I saw them on interviews, and I'm like, it'd be rad if that dude came out here and looked at the property, right? And that was the same thing with Nick Ferguson. And I'm never like, the answer, like I say all the time, I tell them the answer is always fucking yes. Do you want it? Yes. You don't even have to finish the sentence. You just tell me what we're doing. The answer is yes. But I would never go to North Carolina, right? And I have the excuse. So when I tell dudes, I'm like, you're fucking up. The answer is always yes, you should do this, but I don't do it myself, right? Because I have the excuse that I can't leave because I have all the animals. I have the farm. I have to run a business. Am I lucky in that manner? I don't know, but it works out that way. So, like, I'm never going to go to North Carolina to meet Billy, but Billy came here, and we became friends. And I actually lied to Billy. I'm like, hey, I know you're in town. I need you to really come and see if this pig thing's going to work where we have it. I need you to, but I wanted Billy to come here because I wanted to talk to Billy face to face. And 4 hours later, we're like playing the drums and doing karate in the garage. We're like, did we just become best friends? So I'm just very lucky that this thing has worked in the manner that it has, and like the leading people in the industry want to come here. So, and then they can kind of critique my shit. And like Billy's always like, man, you've done everything. Like, this is perfect. But I don't really think it is, right? So I feel like I'm just lucky some of our bullshit worked. And I think there's really something to like manifesting, right? Vision board and stuff like that. And I always was like fucking crystal rubbing bullshit. But as I've had people that I know have grown their businesses, and you hear these conversations, and as they're like, we're not talking like millions of dollars, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. And these guys all say the fucking same thing, even when they don't even know each other. They're always saying the same thing. So maybe if you believe it, it will just come true, right? Or maybe, I mean, there's definitely hard work in there, but I don't know where I'm going with that.
I do believe that just because I've had that experience before, like right before I came out here. Like, my life I was going through some dark fucking shit, and had been in that cycle for a really long time. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do this. Like, I just hit like a breaking point. And then I tried an experiment with myself, and I was like, let's just try this shit. And I believed it, and that's been the case ever since. I was like, what if things are about to get better than anything you have ever known in your time on this earth? Like, what if all these bad things that you worry about happening again are not going to happen again? Like, what if things are about to get so good that you can't even conceive it because you've never experienced it? Like, you don't even know it's out there.
Yep.
So and I just claimed it, and I kept doing that. And I'm not saying I haven't had bumps in the road, but that has come true. So
if you hadn't had the bad, right? Nobody wants to watch a fucking movie or hear somebody's story where everything's just been fucking awesome all their life. There has to be a actual, like, I got a buddy that's fucking doing really, really well, and I'm very close with him, and he's like, I don't know why I can't just fucking put this together. I think it's because nothing bad's. I go, do not fucking even finish that sentence.
No.
Like, you have to, like, you have to have some fucking terrible shit happen to become the superhero. And once you do, and you're past that, you have to operate as though there's a fucking camera following you around. And you have to do, like, if everybody maneuvered through the day as though there was accountability, imagine how different you would do things and how much more time you would have to get things done if you actually had a camera following you, right? If somebody could just tune in and watch.
Yeah, no, it's a very applicable thing to have as a mind state right now, especially for how, like, weirdly voyeuristic, like, our society is. Like,
it's worse than you even think. Well, you know.
Well, no, like, I actually have a friend that was like, you should stream on Twitch. And I'm like, what the fuck is on Twitch? I thought it was a video game thing. He's like, no, dude, look. And I haven't done it, but he showed me, and there's literally people that are driving their car and just filming the road, and there's like thousands of people watching and tipping, and I'm like, what the fuck?
So my buddy's got they got millions of viewers on their YouTube channel, and he's got fucking like millions of viewers on Twitch, and that's what this dude does. That's what he was famous for. This guy, and that's not my buddy. My buddy knows this dude. They're all exotic cars, like all Ferraris and Lambos and shit in Nashville. Dude lives in like his house looks like a castle. And it's video games. He plays video games, and 12, 13, 14-year-old kids watch him play these fucking video games. And when he answers one of them, like, they lose their shit, right? And he has somehow monetized this. But all these video game players that are high up in video games, they all have energy drinks. So they got an energy drink deal. They're buying cars when they come available, flipping them for more. Like, they're well invested, but it's all from Twitch and video games.
Yeah, it's wild to see the way that a lot of people are making money. I mean, I literally, like, there was a guy on a motorcycle, and it showed his total. It was like $12,000. Yeah. It was fucking crazy.
Well, the fucking Tim Pool chicken coop, $40,000.
That is genius, dude. I didn't know he was doing that, but that's genius. Like, he really has found a way to monetize on, like, multiple fronts. Like, he's definitely built something very, very dope and respectable in my eyes as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, he even made a song about the chickens and, like, recorded it or whatever. Yeah. I've never laughed so hard. I was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? But yeah, he's dope as hell. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes there are a lot of fucking ways to make a lot of money that just seems so simple that I feel like they get I at least overlook them or don't pick up on it all the time.
Yep.
Like, even the shit you were talking about, like the Amazon stuff, because when you put out that link and that video, dude, I was in North Carolina. I was out of town, like, doing some shit, and I was getting ready to do a live with Permapastures, and I fucking stopped what I was doing and texted, like, all my people and was like, you need to go through this link right now, da-da-da-da-da, they have this, and I ordered, like, so much shit, and I put it in both my Telegram channels, and told so many fucking people, and I was like, use this, and then I put it, I'm in, like, this weird, like, prepper collective chat, there's, like, 20,000 people in it, and I put it in there, too, with your links.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, that way so hopefully you guys got something from that.
But you could do that video.
Yeah, like, how the fuck did you make that happen?
So, there's a YouTube channel called American Prepper Chick. She just showed up on the radar. She's got kind of a goofy costume. She's always sitting in the same place in character. And I saw Sunday morning, I think I got up super early that morning, and when I finally opened the computer, that video popped up on YouTube. So I watched it, and she had like 11 products. And I'm like, I'm just going to kind of take this same thing and remake her video. And I'm just going to do 5 products, and I'm going to show it on my channel, right? And it blew up. It worked. We used some good hashtags in it. and I put it in a few of the like prepper groups that I'm in on Facebook groups. And then last week we did another one of them.
Interesting. Okay. So,
Are a lot of your fans dudes
yes.
because they have crushes on you?
I have no idea why. But if I look at, like, there's only certain websites that allow me to see, like, the gender logistics, but it's always, like, it's always more men than women, yeah.
So, I'll see, like, I always look at, like, mini links or Linktree, right? Because I'm curious what we should be doing that we're not doing. And on a lot of the girls, you'll see they have Amazon accounts, like Amazon affiliates, but they also have, if you want to buy me this thing. And they just have a list of like shit they want, and dudes fucking send it to them.
What?
And they're like, hey, thanks for the blah, blah, blah. Hey, thanks for the blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I actually just got asked to do one for somebody I used to work with. And the one thing that stopped me from doing it is I wanted to confirm that if somebody sent her something, they wouldn't have her address, which I'm sure they won't. But I want to confirm that.
They could fuck up over it. Amazon.
Yeah. But yeah, it's called an Amazon wish list, and you could send it. You could send a link to somebody, and you can double dip like that. So if you have an Amazon affiliate link, you can have them go to your wish list through your link, and then buy whatever you want, and it gets sent to you instead of them.
We shouldn't even be telling all this shit.
No.
Like this should be a behind the paywall business
Okay, yeah,
conversation.
we'll do that.
No, I mean put it in.
Right.
But like you can like if so in these prepper groups, right, or these gardening groups, people are like, man, these Japanese beetles are eating up all my peach trees, right? Which is true. It happens all the time. And I'm like, hey, I use this fucking cordless vacuum and I vacuum them up because I used to go up and crush them, but as soon as you shake the tree, they take off. So they're mating, right? So I'm gonna it's an orgy. I'm gonna kill like 3 or 4 of these things that are all stacked up on top of each other, and I'm like, as soon as you shake the tree, I use this, and what do? I go look that product up on Amazon, and I take the link that's unique to me, and I post it in there, and I go, this is the vacuum I use, and it auto-populates, puts a picture. Every person that clicks there, it auto-populates a cookie into their Amazon group or their store, their personal unique Amazon. In the next 24 hours, anything they buy, I get a percentage of it. So it's just getting it in mass groups of eyeballs.
So you have to sign up through Amazon to become an affiliate, and then anytime through that you share a link of like, this is what I use.
Yes.
Then there's a 24-hour window where you get a cut.
Yes.
Of anything they buy.
Of anything.
So if they get to Amazon by clicking your link, you get a cut of anything they buy for the next 24 hours.
What happens if they click the link and do like the dumb shit thing where they like look around but don't buy, and then they go back to your link again? Like, does it work again, or is it
No,
just
it works every time.
every time?
Yeah.
But they have to use the link. They can't just like go
And
back.
it doesn't
to their
matter
cart.
what they buy. That just takes them to that product on Amazon. Once they're on Amazon, and I tell my people we're doing it. I tell people, hey, I know that you might not need a product that we built, but you are interacting with us on live feed every night. But most of you guys use Amazon, right? So if you got any value out of anything I did and you don't have a use for my products, click one of our links to Amazon, and anything you buy on Amazon will get a percentage of. That's the way of helping us. And Amazon's evil anyway, so look at it as taking money from Amazon and then giving it to somebody you like. And all you little shit talkers that watch every fucking night that don't like me, go fucking give the money to somebody you do like and click their Amazon link. That's literally what I say.
Interesting. Yeah, because I know that you can donate to certain nonprofits, like kind of like the one that I'm wearing, or I've donated to the Caleb House or different organizations like that, but it's like fucking breadcrumbs. I guess it might add up, because it is Amazon, but I knew that you could do that, but I didn't know that anybody could get an affiliate link. That's
I don't know about anybody, but yeah, you can get an affiliate link if you have a YouTube page for sure.
Okay, cool. And then when there was that huge sale on freeze-dried foods, were you involved with it, or did it just fucking happen and you were like, oh shit, I'm gonna use my link for this?
The ones you're talking about?
Yeah, the one that I was like, everybody!
So I saw American Prepper Chick. I saw her make that video that morning. I clicked on her shit, opened those links, verified that they were still current, not sold out, set the camera on that table over there, or set my computer there, and just started talking on my phone, or maybe it was GoPro. And I'm like, here, I'm going to show you 5 products that are marked down over 50%, Augustin Farms. I personally own some of these products, and I just bought about $500 worth of these things myself. Now I'm telling you, I waited till I ordered mine before you jackals all buy them all. and here's this one, freeze dried butter. And it's not freeze dried. It's actually the butter won't. You can't freeze dry fat. Here's the butter. Here's the buttermilk pancakes. Here's the biscuits. Right? I showed the 5 or whatever it was, and I just made that video and put it up there. But I had links on from my page. Right? I opened that, and then I click. It puts a different taskbar on your computer, and you can click link. You can put link with photo, or you can link something else. So I just took that, and then I put that in the notes on the YouTube video, and those are what they saw. Those were the clicks, and they only had to click one of them. It doesn't matter what they buy, anything they buy in the next 24 hours, we get a piece of. A dude bought a ladder like a couple years ago. A dude bought a ladder for like $225, and it was clearance or something. We got $75 off the ladder. Like, that really sticks out. Imagine if you could do that every day.
That is fucking very interesting. Okay.
You just have to have eyeballs. If you have eyeballs, you can monetize.
Yeah, I guess that kind of, and I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll just have to go through with it and see what happens, but there's so many of these little things that keep coming up.
Yeah.
Right now. Even like random affiliates, like whether it's like, an opportunity with the Live Free Academy to sell the SRF recordings, or the EMP shield, or like, stuff that I'm doing with the knives, and now it's turning into more things that I shouldn't talk about till they're ready. I'm like, should I fucking go that route and like stay with the music and just do that, or like
do all of it?
Or should I like is doing this, full-time solar panel shit like a bad idea, or like what, is that going to be distracting? I don't fucking know, cuz it's one of those like normal jobs or whatever, and I've been doing abnormal jobs for a very long time.
Yeah, I can't do normal jobs.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no fucking idea.
Everybody's like, I don't have time, right? But the reality is most people that work 8 hours only work 3 hours, and they get paid for 8 hours. Where's the person disappear? They're on the phone, on the toilet or whatever. I like to look at the day as 6 hours, right? I have 4 days in each day, right? I have a 6-hour day because that's typically that works, right? I'm going to sleep for 6 hours. I'm going to get up and do whatever for 6 hours and then 6. But days are like, I don't have time. I'm like, well, do you really not have time, right? Because you're sleeping for 8, you're at work for 8, you have 8 more hours. What the fuck are you doing with your 8 hours, right? Do you really not have time? Don't tell me you can't. Tell me you don't want to. I'm okay with you don't want to, but don't fucking tell me you can't.
I like the 6-hour one.
So that it comes from Ed Milet, and he says 3 8-hour days, and I just like the 6-hour day better. It just fits better, and it gives you blocks, right? Can you not really work for 6 hours, sleep for 6 hours, work your side hustle for 6 hours? That still gives you 6 more for your family, your wife, your whatever it is, right? The gym. You can do a lot of shit in 6 hours. And the way that will work is if you set a timer on your watch, your phone, whatever, every 60 minutes it's going to go off. As soon as you hear that, you're going to turn it off. I want you to evaluate, did I just utilize that last 60 minutes to the best of its ability, to my ability, right? What do I have to show for the 60 minutes? And once you've done that 1,000 times, you won't have to have a timer anymore. You'll just stop and you will evaluate, did I just use the 60 minutes? And my answer to me is usually no. I spent a lot of time. I'm super stuck lately. I'm just going to turn on YouTube, right? And I start looking through YouTube, and I spend fucking 15 minutes scrolling through YouTube looking for a fucking video that I want to watch, and I don't watch any of them. I'm like, fuck this. Mm-hmm. So audiobooks works for me, and music works for me. Because I can, if I'm listening to, upbeat, fast music, Hollywood Undead, whatever, rap, Tupac lately is what I'm listening to, I can get my task done, and I typically do it faster.
Okay, that's very, very fucking valuable for sure. Because sometimes you're like, oh my god, all these things are happening and they're good things, but it's like, how do you manage them all and like not let something fall by the wayside or whatever? Yeah, because I mean that is a real thing too. Like I am in a situation where I got to get my money up right now, so like it's not forever, but like it's something I need to do.
That's everybody. Everybody has to pay the bills.
Yeah, it's like it does. It is a very like I know how to live with little to no money, but it's super uncomfortable, and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, yo, if I'm about to release this much music, which does cost money because it gets engineered, and then you have to do like the marketing, visuals to some extent, whatever, that it does cost money. And so I'm just like, and I also want to move out of where I am and like further from the city. That costs money. if I want to go to tactical response and take that class and get the extra mags for my gun that I'm going to need and the extra 1,000 rounds just for that weekend, and like also, other things that I need, and get medical training and all those things like that. All that shit costs money.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm just like, the whole like scraping by barely is just not really cutting it for me anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Not really interested in that. So I'm like, oh, we got to get more money coming in. So that's good intel, because yeah, it can be, I am much happier when I'm disciplined, focused, less time on social media, and in like a flow state. Like, I'm really happy then. But when I feel like I'm getting sucked into shit, I almost feel like I get hypnotized or something. And
It's easy to, yeah.
yeah.
You know Mike from
Phone
Easy
thing.
Peasy Podcast?
No.
Okay, well, you'll love him. You should listen to him. He talks about flow a lot.
Oh, about the flow state?
Yep. I never heard it until he sat here and we talked about it.
Really?
He was at Self-Reliance. He was the dude walking around with the audio recorder. He's got a podcast. Cool dude. We interviewed him. We also did a live with him. Or he interviewed me, and then we did a live with him.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to check him out. So the Easy Peasy podcast
Yep.
with Mike. What's his last name?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just Mike.
I'm sure he has a last name, but I don't. And you can tell him that the interview he did with me was definitely the best of all of them.
Okay. I mean, the Easy Peasy podcast is kind of
Pretty
a
easy,
memorable
yeah.
name. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, cool.
So he sets up like for soccer moms, right? He sets up raised bed gardens for people that won't set them up themselves.
No shit.
And he will come in for a certain amount of monthly fee. He will maintain your garden.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just a cool dude. All
Yeah,
right, so
that's
we're
fucking
super
dope.
long. This is probably the longest one we've ever fucking done.
Oh, no shit.
Anything you want to say? Last things you want to say?
Last things I want to say, if you want a very, very lovely, blissed out, freedom, fuck the world, but not in a mean way vibe, pay attention for Alien Tumbleweed that drops August 19th on all platforms. Artist name is Testimona. If you want to check out my podcast, it is The Great Silencing with Testimona. And if you want to buy some hidden knives and what look like hairbrushes, hit me up. That's all I got.
And you should
oh,
check
and EMP
out,
shields.
you should check out Wasteland, her song Wasteland,
Yeah.
and Psycho.
Psycho, Wasteland, Quarantine Blues, True Warriors Hunt Themselves. Those some of the more recent-ish. The Lie We Live is the most recent, but yeah.
Awesome.
Depends on your vibe. I got everything from trap to blues to lo-fi to R&B. It's all over the place. But this next one is some Miami Grand Theft Auto vibes. It's some
Awesome.
fancy summer shit.
So do you know why your shit's all over the place?
Why? Because I am.
Nah, because you can do any fucking thing you want to do.
Yeah, man, I'm talking about realest, one of the realest to try. My family, SOE, got the tools to survive. Yeah, I don't